Oh, man, this is so much fun. Yeah, we're kind of breaking new ground here or plowing up used ground. I'm not sure what we're doing here. I'm visiting with my friend Bud Fini from Sig Sauer. We're in the studio here for Guns and Gear Television. We're shooting some video of doing radio. It's kind of like taking pictures of two guys sitting in the corner talking. I don't know what we're doing
here. It's great being part of an experiment. It really is.
Not your first time to be involved in an experiment. You know, you and I have both been in this firearms business for a long time.
Just a few years.
A few years. I mean, you spent a lot of time with various companies, of course, with Sig Sauer, and you got some new things for us to talk about. And we might as well just jump right into it because we always talk about, we talk a lot about the guns. Of course, we have great guns. Guns are pretty much useless if you don't have ammo, and even if you don't have good ammo.
Exactly.
And so I think Sig has lost its mind, frankly. I think you guys have decided, well, we're not going to be just handgun makers. We're going to make rifles, too, and we're going to get into ammo and optics and who knows what else. Silencers. That's right.
Air guns.
But you're not just going to dabble in ammo. Talk us through where we were last year and where we are now.
No, talk about experiment. Maybe this was an experiment.
I think you are involved in an experiment. Yeah.
A year ago, we started with 5 pistol calibers, and we talked about it then, and we've expanded to 33 products right now, almost exactly a year later.
Wow.
We started with the V-Crown, our exclusive V-Crown bullet in the Elite Performance ammunition, and we've continued Elite Performance ammunition into ball ammo because obviously people are not going to carry ammunition every day, and they're not going to go to the range and shoot up hundreds of rounds of carry ammo. It's just too expensive.
Only the government does that.
Yeah, only the government. That's exactly right. So obviously there's a need for the ball, and what we really strive for was to equal the performance, meaning in recoil, in velocity, in terminal downrange ballistics, keeping everything consistent so the shooter, it didn't matter what he was using.
So you can switch back and forth and not worry about it. So you load up the elite ammo, which is your carry ammo, your self-defense ammo, or home defense or carry. And then, although it's a good idea with any of your carry ammo to go out and shoot a magazine or two of that through your gun, make sure it cycles and all of that, right?
Absolutely. Have to do that.
Okay. But then you can take the ball ammo, which is practice ammo, full metal jacket for those who don't know the term ball,
right.
And you can go out and shoot that and practice with it. Now you're shooting the same SIG ammo. You can go back and forth and have a confidence or a comfort level that your practice equates to what would happen if you had to shoot in a self-defense situation.
That's exactly right. All the components, except for the projectile, are identical. We don't change and use a lesser powder. We don't use a different brass. We don't use different... All the components except the projectile remain the same and constant.
What made SIG even consider getting into ammo?
Actually, 2 things. Number one, making thousands and thousands of guns per year, as we do, we were shooting other people's ammo.
Right.
And we thought and believe that we could make ammo that was more applicable to our guns and give us better performance, specifically in AR rifles. I
think what I hear you saying is, with good ammo, you can make your guns look better because you knew your guns were better.
No question about it. So that was one of the driving forces. And the other were international tenders, where the world is shopping. Everyone wants to do one-stop shopping.
Sure.
And so they want optics, they want the rifle, they want the pistol to go with it, and guess what? They want the ammo to go with it. So why shouldn't we give them the optimal performance that SIG applies to all of its products?
And we should point out, you're not like buying somebody else's ammo and just having them put your box on this.
Oh, no. We've invested heavily in a reloading facility with the most modern equipment, our design, just like the V-Crown is our design, patented.
Your design for the factory, too.
For the factory as well, yes.
Wow.
We've taken a tried and true method of loading, plate loaders for those who understand what that is,
right,
and modernized it to the nth degree.
And you've got a strong, long background in loading ammo. I mean, you're not just hand loading, but actually making ammo by the millions of rounds.
That's correct.
With a big green company.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you got the handgun ammo, and you have not just like we had 9 and 45. Now what do we have? We got 10.
We've got 10 millimeter, which is new this year as well.
Right.
Yeah, the 10 millimeter. Boy, the interest in 10 is just incredible.
It is something.
It really is. It was a sleeper. It was people who distributed ammo didn't realize how much 10 they were actually distributing because sure, it's not a 30-06 or a 38 special.
Right.
But when they started taking a look at it, when we talked about adding that as one of the products, they were surprised themselves at how much 10 millimeter they were actually selling.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Well, and of course, Sig brought out the P220 in 10 millimeter this year.
Exactly.
So that's another acknowledgement of the popularity of the 10.
And while you're on bringing, we brought 3 rifles out in 300 blackout. And guess what? We have the ammo to go with it, both sonic and subsonic.
Okay, so you brought out rifles in 300 blackout, and then you said, well, let's make good ammo for it. So you got the subsonic and the hypersonic. And, it just happens that SIG also makes silencers. So doesn't that work nicely together?
Right. So, and again, going back to what we talked about before is, if you want to optimize the performance of your rifle with a can, without a can, with the ammo,
right,
we're the one-stop shopping.
So where are you going from here?
Oh, the line has to grow tremendously yet. We're going to go into hunting rounds for sure. Okay, and that'll happen in 2015. You'll start to see some 308, some 223, and the additional, 300.
Okay. And then we have other things that I'm not going to start rumors about. Not yet.
Oh, yeah.
but there's no telling where you guys are going to go.
There's no telling, right?
Maybe make it the kind of ammo that people are really looking for these days.
Exactly.
One never knows.
One never
knows. All right. So is this available now? If you went into stores, can your stores order this? How do they get it?
Yes. Yep. Standard distribution through tier. We have through distributors or through direct dealers or some of the box stores that our folks are used to shopping.
So if you're a gun store, put in an order with your distributor, and you can get the SIG ammo.
SIG ammo, absolutely.
There you go. And the information on this is on the website, sigsauer.com?
Absolutely. Yep.
There you go. Bud Fini, my good friend, we have shot a lot of stuff together through the years.
Yeah, we sure have.
I am so glad that you could be here. And we're going to go shoot some more stuff this year. How's that?
Sounds terrific.
All right. I appreciate that. All right. Don't go far. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk. All right. We're back with you. We are changing seats out. We're bringing chairs to move people around. We got John Hollister. We got Eric Vonbosse.
That's correct.
How'd I do? I did good with that.
You did very well.
Okay. Both from Sig Sauer, but we're talking silencers and optics.
That's correct.
Okay. Because we're talking about this insane expansion of SIG is just unbelievable. What's going on there? I don't even know how you guys know. How do you keep up with stuff?
It's good bringing on all the new people and the expansion into air guns and optics and silencers and trying to keep track of all the new people is something.
I guess it is. All right. So let's start off with the silencer, John. You got some in front of you here, and interesting. SIG chose to go with the word silencer instead of suppressor.
Yes,
Is there
sir.
any thinking behind that?
Well, it was originally a silencer. The Maxim Silencer Company started in 1895.
Hiram Maxim.
Yep, Hiram Percy Maxim. His father was Hiram Stevens Maxim, who was the inventor of the machine gun. His uncle was Hudson Maxim, inventor of smokeless powder. We owe a lot to the Maxim family.
Wow.
And in 1909, he patented the firearm silencer. So it is a silencer. There's a lot of talk out there about it's not a silencer, it's a suppressor. It doesn't make it sound, it suppresses it. That was an attempt to make it a little less edgy,
right,
and bring it to the common person. And but I tell people it's the name of it, so that's what we call it.
That's what it is. It's a silencer, and we all understand it doesn't make it completely silent. It knocks it down. How does a silencer work?
Well, a silencer fits on the muzzle of the firearm, and as the bullet travels down the barrel and enters into the silencer and passes through it, there's a series of baffles on the inside that capture the gas, and they slow cool and redirect that gas until it is not going supersonic anymore and is not burning. So it takes the boom out of it. There's really 4 noises to shooting a gun. One of them is the action noise of the gun. Every time we fire the gun, you hear the action noise.
Right.
The second is as the bullet travels down range, you get the sonic crack if it's going over, rule of thumb, 1150 or 10,050 feet per second.
Right.
1,050 feet per second.
Right.
You get the impact of the bullet striking whatever the medium is, whether it be a berm or paper
or steel or something.
Exactly, and then we get that the gas escaping from the barrel. So it's not unlike a cork going out of a champagne bottle, where as you remove the cork, you get that big pop. Well,
expanding gases going out.
Exactly. It's not the cork. It's actually the gases. And so by controlling those gases and only releasing them when they're slowed down and not burning, we take the boom out of it, so you hear all that other stuff.
Is it fair to say a silencer is really just a muffler?
It is a type of muffler, just like you put a muffler on your car. I mean, it
kind of works kind of the same way. You got baffles in there. You got a tube, and it slows it down and knocks the sound down. How much can a silencer knock the sound down? When you've got, I know it varies on the size of the silencer and the design and such.
And the caliber, like in 22s, like your I was going to say the best bang for your buck, but the least bang for your buck.
Right.
In that we can get down like a 41 decibel reduction down into basically the slide of the gun. It sounds less than a pellet gun.
Wow.
We have the MCX rifle, which in 300 blackout subsonic with one of our 338 or 300 Win Mag silencers on it in titanium, get that gun down into like 119 decibels. Like dropping the bolt on air is 112 decibels.
So it really is just not, and then it becomes ear safe. You can shoot these without wearing muffs at all.
Absolutely. OSHA says that hearing safe for impact or impulse noises, which is a gunshot, is 140 decibels. And as just a rough rule of thumb, every 3 decibels you go up or down, you half or double the amount of sound.
It's logarithmic.
Exactly.
Yeah. So 3 decibels is important. 10 decibels is huge. 40 decibels is unbelievable. You're just doing some really serious reductions.
Absolutely. I tell people that, when we're doing 10 miles an hour in the car, we get to 20, we're twice as fast. We get to 30 miles an hour, we're 3 times as fast. We're used to that linear scale, and but decibels are logarithmic.
Yep, exactly right. So you've got cans for 22s up to, I'm looking at 338 Lapua here?
Yeah, we've got 22 that does up to 22 Magnum. We've got 945. The 45, of course, can be converted. 940 and 45 are best-selling.
So you can use a bigger suppressor or silencer for smaller calibers. You can put a 45 caliber suppressor on a 9, and that works.
Absolutely. You just take the piston, swap it over, and the piston is what attaches it to the gun. And you get great suppression out of that. And you can also use like a 300 Win Mag rated can and use it all the way down into 5.56 into 204 Ruger.
Which is smart. That way you change your suppressor or your silencer onto different guns, and you don't have to buy. Although it's kind of cool to get one for each gun, but still, you start out by getting the most you can out of a purchase of a suppressor.
It absolutely is. And people start out buying 1 or 2, and that's their plans, is they're only going to buy 1 or 2 because they're multi-caliber. But after you shoot a gun with a silencer on it, you never want to shoot a gun that's loud again.
It's so true, isn't it? Yeah. It really is. Now, Eric, you guys have gotten into optics, and I say that Sig is a new company in optics, but the Sig optics team is not new to optics at all.
Yeah, it's really not. It's a new group for us, but our engineering staff and planning staff are all folks that have been in the industry for a long time with some of the really reputable companies that are out there.
Right.
So it is much different from, say, us dabbling in a few accessories like we had done years back. We have a full optics team, designers, optical engineers, electrical engineers, design engineers, and the support staff that goes with that to really bring that industry knowledge into Sig Sauer.
You've done some cool things. We were just doing some TV about that this morning, and you had all the stuff lined out. And you got this little bitty rangefinder that you're using out to 1,600 yards and beyond, right?
That's correct.
I mean, that's just crazy. You used to have have to have a big old huge instrument to do that.
It's really interesting. The consumer industry, electronics for TVs, stereos, that type of thing, computers have really seen a benefit over the years with micro reductions in microprocessors and memory and all that. In the sporting optics side, that technology is there as well, so it allows you to build in a much smaller form factor and a much faster refresh rate than we've ever been able to do in the past.
Interesting. Now, you showed me something this morning I just thought was the coolest thing. You've got red dot sights that are, and I may not be saying this right, are they motion activated?
So we do what we call it MOTAC. It's motion activated turn on and turn off. So really it's a smart power management.
Right.
And it's designed because when the gun's in motion or when it's in your hand, you want the optic on. But when it's in storage, you want it to turn off automatically to save battery life. And that, again, is just electronic technology that's really blended with the optic itself to make it a much better performing platform.
So I think in terms of a house protection gun, it's sitting there, it's in a safe or a little locked up vault, and sight turned off, all right? You reach in, as soon as you grab it, you pull it out, that motion turns it on.
It's on by the time it leaves your safe. So the idea is to increase the battery life. You never have to worry about a dead battery. And just like a smoke detector, you would mention that during the a little bit earlier, you should get into a regime where you change the batteries out once a year. You'll never have a problem with it.
Yeah, like I said, give your optics a birthday present on your birthday, put new batteries in them.
Yes,
so
sir.
that way you can
optics.
You can remember. Now, your rifle scopes are so good looking. Obviously, I mean, you guys know about the guts. You're using good quality optics, and that's the part that people can't see. I always tell people, in a store, all rifle scopes look good, right?
Very true.
You pick them up and go, yeah, that's good, it's clear, it's great. You go, yeah, what's that mean? How do you know? Well, you pretty much got to trust the reputation of the company, because that's really what you're buying.
Well, we do, and we know the Sig Sauer brand, that is our brand equity. We're not going to do anything at all to damage that. So the internals, the quality of the glass, and then the lens coatings are phenomenal. You mentioned the outside exterior, and we spent a lot of time taking design cues from our core products, the rifles and pistols. So if you take a look at, say, the rangefinder, you'll have some horizontal lines on that. Those are very similar to the horizontal lines we have on the back of the slides for grasping grooves. You'll see checkering that's very similar to a 320 frame or a 1911 frame. So we've really tried to integrate the look and feel so it says Sig Sauer, since we're really in a position, a very unique position in the firearms industry, where we can provide a complete system to the consumer, the firearm, the silencer, the ammunition, and the optics to go on top.
Right.
It's really pretty unique.
Give me an idea of the range of the scopes that you're offering so far.
Wow. So that's interesting. So we use the military phonetic alphabet. So the whiskey scopes are our hunting line, and we have two different price points, a mid-price point and an upper price point. The mid-price point are all 3-to-1 erector sets. So when they mean an erector set, how much magnification is in that system itself,
right.
And that's really the background of the optical system. So in our case, it would be a 3-to-9, a 4-to-12, those combinations, and we do offer a number of combinations in the whiskeys. The whiskey 5 is a 5 times erector, so a 1-to-5, 2-to-10, that type of thing. The difference between the price points, you might find a little difference in the quality of the machining. Really, the big difference is in the quality of the lens glass and the coatings that go on it. The mid-range scopes, phenomenal scopes, certainly a much lower price point. So we're trying to offer performance in a price point that really covers the full range of consumers that are out there. And on the rifle or on the tactical side, Tango scopes, we have the same thing. Tango 4 is a 4 times erector, so a 1-to-4 and up, and then the upper price point scopes, the Tango 6 are a 6 times erector, so 1-to-6, 2-to-12, 3-to-18.
Yeah, 1-to-6 may be like the sweetest package ever. I mean, John's over nodding on, yeah.
It is.
I mean,
It's
awesome.
a chance to play with it.
I mean, really, 1-to-6.
It absolutely is.
You could do anything with that.
Absolutely. You can use it basically at zero magnification, just like a red dot, and then zoom into 6 power. It's awesome.
It really is. And, for a hunter, I think in terms of hunting, a 1-to-4 or 1-to-6, I'm going to leave it on 1 all the time. And when I'm walking around, if something jumps up in front of me, you can make a real quick shot on it, both eyes open, just make the shot. If it's farther out, you have time.
Absolutely.
You're not making a quick shot on that. You have time to crank it up, and you're good to go. And it used to be, 10 years ago, thinking about a 6 times magnification was really unthinkable. We just weren't offered that. And now you're doing 1-to-6. That is spectacular. And the truth of it is, for everything, say, short of 500 yards, 6 power will take care of it.
Plenty enough.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, we're into optics, silencers, lots of guns, lots of new guns. We're talking a little bit about ammunition. Oh, air guns. That's right. You guys got a whole line of cool air guns, too.
We do indeed.
And they look like your other guns, so you could actually use your air guns for some sort of training and then switch to the live guns, right?
Absolutely. There's a MPX air gun. There's a 320 air gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, and they shoot well, but they look good. And I will tell you, in the booth at the NRA show, in you guys' booth, the air gun area was crushed.
Absolutely.
There were people all over the place. I'm thinking, air guns? Really?
Well, the other thing about the air guns is you really got to pick them up and feel them because they're solid. It doesn't
feel
like
plasticky.
a toy. Yeah. It's a good, solid feeling gun.
Yep. Exactly right. All right, so if somebody wants to get a suppressor or silencer, they could do that in how many states now?
There's 39 states that allow silencers to be owned by citizens, and there's 34 states that allow hunting. Full game hunting was just approved in Ohio, was the latest one back in December.
Right, exactly right. So you can get your suppressor. And I'm here to tell you, if you want to start somebody out shooting, you take them out with a 22 rimfire with a silencer on it, and they are going to love it, and they're going to wonder after that, why do we use these loud guns? Why don't we always use these things?
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you being here. We're having some fun. We're with the SIG guys. We're going to be talking about some more guns and ammo and other stuff. Don't go far. And by the way, if you want to check us out, we're on the YouTube Gun Talk channel, and you can actually see what we're doing here. This is a little bit crazy. All right, back with you here in the studio, the Guns and Gear studio. Don't forget, by the way, to check us out, guntalk.com. On Twitter, I'm at GunTalk. You can always shoot me an email, Tom at guntalk.com. We'll get you in there. And, of course, we've got our our DVDs, the Concealed Carry 1 and 2, the First Person Defender Show, and Gunfighting, Fighting with the 1911, all at shopguntalk.com. If you're not able to get yourself to a top-notch training facility, at least do some training. Get a DVD. Get what you can get, because you start where you start, and then the day you walk out of your class, your competence level goes down day by day. So you got to get a tune-up. It's just simple as that. If you're serious about concealed carry, if you're serious about taking care of yourself and your family, you have to make that commitment. All right. We're sitting here with John Brasseur from SIG. And, Don, you brought cool stuff, man. You got, like, props and toys for us to play with. What do we have?
We have a P320, and we have an MCX.
Okay. Start with the MCX, because you got this folding stock that is uber cool.
Yeah, one of the things that you'll first notice on the MCX is the fact that the stock folds. In the rear of the receiver is a Picatinny rail.
Mm-hmm. Now, and we ought to tell people that the MC, we'll tell them exactly what this is. This is a 223 carbine/rifle.
Well, it's not just a 223. It's also a 300 blackout and a 7.62x39.
Okay. Because you can do a lot of swapping and change. I mean, it's like a little erector set, and you can swap parts out on it.
Yep. You can quick change the barrel. There's 2 screws. You turn those screws loose, and the barrel slides right out the front. So there's no big barrel nut that you got to turn. There's no torquing that you got to worry about or any of that.
Wow. Okay. And all right. So how do we end up with a folding stock on? Well, some people could look at that and say, well, that's an AR-15. Well, it's really not, is it?
No, it's not. The only thing you'll notice the same on an AR-15 is the trigger and the selector and the mag catch. That's about it.
Okay, but you can use AR mags in it?
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay. All right, so you went without the buffer tube. You've got this folding stock, but you have other stock options.
Yes, there's 5 stock options that we have that fit on this rifle, and they also fit on the MPX, which is our 9mm version.
Right, okay. So what's this designed for? What do we do with this other than just go have a bunch of fun?
Well, this gun was actually designed for a DoD contract. It was set up to be a 300 blackout compact CQB gun with a suppressor on it. Okay.
So, and we can do the same thing if we want to.
Absolutely. That's the funnest way to shoot it.
Yeah. Right. Suppress that thing and go. So we could do blackout, we can do 223, and what's it?
And 7.62x39.
Oh, okay. Very good. All right. Now, we got the 320. We got to talk about that because you just went through showing me all about this pistol. I'm going to hand this thing to you because you could think and talk better when you got it in your hands. I know you do.
That is true.
So, the 320 pistol available in what calibers now?
It's available in 9, 40, 327 SIG, and 45.
And 45. It is a totally modular pistol in a way that I've never seen before. In fact, has there ever been anything like that before, other than maybe the 250 you had?
The 250, that's really its predecessor.
Okay. You swap out the grips. Tell me what you can do with this thing.
Yeah, so the gun is very modular in the sense it allows the shooter to change to their own fit. What you can do is you can change the grip size being full, compact, carry, subcompact, or you can change the circumference of the grip, small, medium, and large, depending on the size of your hand.
Okay, so you change the grip length depending on the concealability, what you need for that.
Yes.
And the size of it to fit your hand.
Right.
All right, but in the process of doing that, you also can alter the length of the gun.
Correct. So the full-size gun gives you a full-size slide and a full-size grip. Mm-hmm. A carry gives you a compact-size slide on a full-size grip, so you get the mag capacity. A compact gives you a shorter grip, shorter slide, and then a subcompact gives you the ultimate in concealability with a shorter grip and an even shorter slide.
I'm just sitting there kind of wondering if anybody's ever done all the permutations of the different configurations and calibers and everything. You got to have well over 100 options that you could put together with this thing.
Yeah, we went through the other day and we were looking at how many different catalog numbers we have, and we're over 200 just on this one gun.
All right, so the value to somebody, though, they buy this, what's the benefit of being able to do all that?
Well, what it allows you to do is, obviously the caliber conversion allows you to do whatever you want for calibers. But right. Beyond that, for me personally at home, I have the gun in a full size, and I have it in a large grip that fits my hand. Okay. But my wife wants to shoot, I can put a small grip on there that fits her. Mm-hmm. She also doesn't like shooting a full-size gun, so I can put it in a subcompact, which fits her the best.
Now, one thing that we want to talk about is the safety that's built into this gun. Talk about that for a sec.
Yeah, this gun is completely drop safe right out of the box the way it is. There's no external safeties. You're not going to see a blade trigger. You're not going to see a backstrap safety. They're not required. We're going to be looking to do a bladed trigger simply because people are used to feeling that and having that in their gun. Mm-hmm. So we are looking at doing that, but it's not required. The other thing you'll notice is when you take this gun down, there's no trigger manipulation.
Okay, so you do not have to pull the trigger to take your gun apart.
Correct.
Okay, so basically you take the mag out and ensure that it's unloaded and go from there, and it's incredibly simple. It took like 2 seconds for you to do this on camera earlier today. And then when you do, you find out there's this little skeletalized modular component in the middle, and that's actually the serialized part.
Yes, that's the frame of the gun. That's the beauty of it. So one of the things we have going at the Academy when the guys speak to this gun, they don't say it's a polymer gun because the frame of this gun is actually steel.
Okay, it's a steel gun that you put polymer grip and all the, I mean, you literally are putting a slide on and grip on, and you can just change everything out the way you want because you just, the guts of it are this small, and I mean, we're talking small. The guts of it, the actual gun is a steel, it looks like just parts.
Yes, it is.
It's actually genius is what it is.
Well, thank you.
It is. It's really something. And the other part is, and people go, yeah. How's it shoot?
It's a lot of fun. It shoots very well. In fact, the 45, Max Michel, who is our pro team shooter, was the first time he shot it, he was dumbfounded at how well it was shooting out of the factory, stock gun, 45 caliber. We
have video of Max doing a drill with this. Reaction time, drawing and shooting, 6 shots, reload, 6 shots, reload 6 shots on 3 different targets, 5.2 seconds.
Yep.
You know, and the thing is, if you get one of these pistols, everybody will be able to shoot just like Max Michel.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, right. You believe that one. Okay. John, thank you so much for being here and showing us this. This is very cool stuff. And, of course, all this is the information at the Sig Sauer website, sigsauer.com.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thanks so much. All right. We'll be right back in a minute with more Gun Talk. All right. Welcome back to Gun Talk. We are with you again. It is, we're in the Guns and Gear studio. We're actually doing this in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, having a ball over here. And we're sitting here with Nick Discenza from Stag Arms. And Nick, you brought in some pretty cool-looking guns here and fun to shoot, right?
Absolutely.
So what makes these so special?
This is actually the latest addition to our models we offer this year. These are 9mm carbines, which is our first delve into pistol caliber carbines.
Really? Now, okay, for those who don't know, we're talking about an AR-15 type platform, but they're shooting 9mm. And you got, now is this a mag that you guys are providing?
Yes, those are actually like a Colt style 9mm mag. We offer them in 10, 20, and 32 round capacity.
Oh, man. And of course, 9mm is not going to have any recoil in this gun.
No, that's the beauty of it. You can take the same gun, whether it be pistol, rifle, and head to the range. Knowing the problem with ammunition now and the cost of ammunition, it helps keep that price down.
Right. All right. So I know that in the past, I actually have had some experience with companies making 9mm or ARs in pistol calibers. Troublesome, hard to get them to run. They just had problems getting going. How did you guys get past that?
Well, we did use a dedicated 9mm lower, so it did take a bunch of testing to get it right, because anything we do offer, we offer left-handed. So there was engineering that had to be done that
sure,
really no other company had done at that point with the 9mm carbine. So it took a little while. Finding upgraded triggers to also work with that, as opposed to like the mil-spec trigger that we do use, was a little bit difficult. And we did find that some of the upgraded 2-stage triggers will work, but there is select ones that will and others that won't.
Okay. So what's it like to shoot a 9? Talk me through the whole thing.
Well, like you said before, there's really low recoil. The beauty of this is it does lock open on the last round, and you know that it's going to lock open. That bolt carrier kind of slams home because of the heavier mass that it has. So when you fire that last round, you do know you were empty.
Huh, okay. So what are the two models you have here?
Well, the first one here is our Model 9. I actually brought the left-handed variant, so we would refer to that as a 9L. It's basically our stripped-down model here. It's got a diamond head VRS handguard. It's their drop-in handguard.
Right.
Standard A2 flash hider here. Your standard A2 pistol grip and stock. We just tried to keep the price down there, kept it optic ready, because, as you know, there's 1,000,001 companies that offer accessories now, so we kind of left it open for other people to accessorize it how they see fit.
Basically, it's a flat top. You can put whatever you want to put on there.
Exactly.
Anything from iron sights to any kind of optic you want, ready to go.
Sure.
And that's the left-handed version.
Correct. As you notice, it does have an oversized shell deflector, because those 9mm cases kind of eject at a different angle. So
okay.
Most people look at it and say, well, what's going on there? It's just an oversized shell deflector.
To keep the brass out of your face.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We did put it doesn't come standard with an ambi charging handle, but because this was a left-handed model, we like to feature some of our upgrades that we offer for left-handed shooters. Right. One of them being this ambi charging handle. As you see, the latches are kind of oversized here. So
I like it.
As a shooter, you'd know if you have a scope or something here, it's sometimes a little tricky to get your fingers behind that. So we utilize that with the oversized latches. We also offer an ambi selector, and a company named Norgon offers an ambi magazine catch, so you can do it on either side.
And honestly, anybody who's real serious about having a carbine, probably needs to be thinking about having an ambi bolt or a what am I thinking of here?
Charging handle.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Just because if you're switching over to weak side, it can be now you're trying to reach over, or you got to come off the gun with the other hand,
Sure.
and it makes operations a whole lot easier.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's this model?
The other model here is our Model 9T. This is a slightly upgraded model here. Also utilizes one of Diamond Head's handguards. It's their VRS-T handguard. Mm-hmm. It is free floating and it is modular, which is a beautiful thing because you can attach your rail sections at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock, whether they be short or long rail sections. You have your rail on the top here for mounting optics. Flip up front and rear sights. It's their patented diamond aperture. We've got a lot of great feedback from people on that. Sometimes it's a love them or hate them type thing, but most of our feedback is people really enjoy them.
Well, if you don't like them, you can swap them out, for heaven's sake.
Sure, absolutely.
You know?
We've actually used this handguard on a couple different rifles, too. If you remember the old M16 handguards, those triangular handguards, they had a real nice feel to them. So when they designed these, they kind of based it off of that design and tapered it a bit and modernized it so you could attach your rail sections and put these finger grooves so that there's a bunch of different grip styles out these days. So no matter where you are, your fingers kind of find a sweet spot on there so you can grip it and handle it.
Okay. So obviously we got the 9s. Now, one of the things that Stag has been doing is offering a lot of parts, aftermarket parts, bolts, bolt carriers, that type of thing.
Correct.
What's going on with that? Why are people wanting to? Are they upgrading? Are they changing?
A lot of people like the M16 style carriers because there's a little bit more mass there and a little bit more meat at the back of the bolt carrier. But as far as the upgrades we're offering now, we're doing nickel Teflon and chroming. As you know, as an AR shooter, the direct gas guns blow a lot of carbon and fouling back into the receiver here.
It's a nice way of saying they get dirty.
Yeah, absolutely. Dirty quick, and they can get hard to clean if you don't clean them that often. So the beauty of those materials is if you're just shooting the once that day, you can pretty much just take the bolt carrier out with a little bit of solvent or just a rag, wipe all that carbon and fouling off there, or if you are putting high volume of rounds down there, it's pretty easy to clean compared to your standard manganese phosphate coating.
What makes them easier to clean?
It's just the properties in the application of the nickel Teflon or the chrome. It's just it adds lubricity to the bolt carrier too, so its function is a little bit more reliable there when it's dirty.
That gets me to a question: how much should you lube an AR just to keep it running? Because I hear different people say, "Oh, don't overlube it." Other people say, "No, it needs to shoot wet."
Well, it would really depend on the volume of shooting, but you don't want to leave it soaking wet because that's going to start to catch all that carbon and fouling and it'll build up in there. It's kind of like anything else. You want enough oil to keep it smooth and functioning and not too much so that it's a catch-all for dirt, dust, and grime.
So if you overlube it and you gum it up, then put less on it next time.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Now, obviously, you have the adjustable stocks on these. You have the options are incredible. It's just what you have with the whole line. Tell you what, hold that thought. I want to take a quick break. When I come back, I want to talk about one of the key features, I think, of Stag Arms is the whole idea that you make left-handed ARs.
Sure.
Because obviously, you may or may not know, I shoot from the left shoulder, shoot handguns right-handed, long guns left-handed. That way I always have an alibi ready to go at any given time. Because, it's a darn poor shooter that doesn't have an alibi available at any given time. So there you go. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk. We're doing this interesting thing. If you want to check out what we're up to, we're actually shooting this in the studio for Guns and Gear, and we're putting this video up. You go to our YouTube channel, just look for Gun Talk there, and you can watch us doing Gun Talk Radio. All right, you know what we do during the breaks? We talk about guns. Big surprise, right, Nick?
Yeah.
We went out to dinner last night, and there were a lot of things we could have talked about, but we ended up talking about guns again.
As always.
Customer service. I love it. What are the more interesting questions you get with customer service? That could be a pretty long story.
Absolutely. It runs the gamut as far as questions. A lot of times people want to know what our future plans are and what we're going to offer because, like I said, we do cater to the left-handed market, so there is a large segment of the population that's concerned with what lefties are going to have next or what we're going to do next for left-handed shooters.
Well, the company's not really that old.
No, actually, we're going to hit our 12-year anniversary in about 2 weeks.
Okay. Did it start with the whole left-handed aspect?
Yeah, actually, the owner is a left-handed shooter, and as you know, for closing in on 60 years now, it's pretty much a right-handed world as far as the gun world's concerned.
Especially ARs.
ARs and M16s originally were all right-handed. There really wasn't a left-handed option. So the owner being a left-handed shooter, left-eye dominant, it kind of made sense with his capabilities and stuff to delve into a lefty market. So with a little bit of time and engineering, couple of different design changes like the ejection port door having to flip up as opposed to down because of where the controls are on the gun. made some changes there, and instead of having all that gas and brass come across the face of a lefty shooter, it's now ejecting the other way, so it's a more pleasant shooting environment for him now.
And then other than that, I mean, it is a standard AR. You've got your controls, although you have the ambi controls.
Correct. There's a few little tweaks to the gun. The barrel extension actually it's an ambi barrel extension because that bolt is camming from the opposite direction. So there's some cuts that need to be made different there.
Okay.
The bolt carrier is kind of just a mirror print, as well as the upper, like I said, besides that ejection port door cover here, having a flip up.
Right. Okay. So whether you want it right or left, you got it available from Stag, I mean, you guys have come a long way in 12 years. I really kind of thought you'd been around a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it's actually 12 years. It was the nature of the market as it was in the last decade or so was a little bit beneficial to us because ARs really went through a boom. So we didn't offer that many different chamberings at first because just the demand for 5.56 period on an AR platform was through the roof, and just being a new company as it was and trying to keep up with that demand was tough enough. But
just getting them out the door.
Correct. As time went on, and people, we try to take as much customer feedback as we can, and people asking for larger calibers to hunt with, or something that's a pistol caliber,
right,
30 cal and larger, that's been our number one question for a decade now, is when are you coming out with a 308?
Okay, let me ask you, when are you coming out with a 308?
Oh, I can neither confirm or deny that date or if we've tested, but there is always testing and plans in the works, and I have to say I'm probably one of the biggest proponents there of seeing it. I would love to see it happen.
That sounds great. Of course, you get so many neat benefits from going to a 308. For a hunter, it really opens up a whole world. And there are a lot of people, of course, even in 223, because we have good ammo available now, a lot of people hunt with their ARs, don't they?
Yeah, a lot of the states, the large game, you can't hunt with 5.56, so we do offer two different models at 6.8 SPC. We have one that's kind of optic ready. It's our Model 5. It has an A2 front sight on it, but we kind of left the rear sight off in case they want to put a flip up or an optic or something like that. And we also offer a 20-inch crown barrel version, which is our Model 7. That is also optic ready. The 7 actually comes with a 2-stage trigger on it, so it's a little bit lighter. That's more set up for specifically hunting.
Okay.
So that's one of the options there. We did also come out with a 300 blackout upgrade this year, so any of our standard 16-inch 5.56 carbines, you can for $50 upgrade, and we'll put a 300 blackout barrel on there. And as you know, most of the components are the same, so
wow,
I made it pretty simple for people if they want to convert.
That's a very attractive price, too.
Absolutely.
Holy cow. All right, for more information, I know you got the website. Is it Stag Arms?
StagArms.com.
StagArms.com. You can look at the right, you can look at the left, you can look at the barrel options, you can look at the caliber options, and now the 9mm, which is very sweet. I mean, come on, 9mm ammo is cheap, not much recoil, and pure fun.
Absolutely.
I mean, really, just why would you not do this? It's one of those deals.
It is fantastic, and for the families that do have the lefty and righty shooters, it's nice. That's kind of why we offer those ambi controls there, so that if you don't buy a second rifle, you can at least just swap the uppers off and use your same lower there.
Perfect. Nick, thanks so much. Appreciate you being here, man. All righty. I appreciate you being here, and that's going to wrap up this hour. If you're going to be staying with us, by all means do that. If you have to leave us, make it a point. Go out and do some shooting this week. Take somebody with you. And remember, you are an ambassador for the shooting sports. Conduct yourself accordingly. I'm Tom Gresham. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time.